Hi guys. Let's just recap on in the session one. I just introduced the context about what we're doing and why we're doing it. In session two, I mentioned that I think it's important that you bring some sort of specificity to your botanist so it can help you develop your architecture. Now, in this lecture or short drawings tutorial, I thought let's focus on some very basics getting into the design. Now remember, if you're standing on site, we mentioned that there is a particular zone of 5 meters where your structure needs to go down and hit a rock bed. That's what we were saying. And around about a meter just below the site, you have a pile to which your column is connected. Now remember that any basic construction from beyond this, beyond your pile cap, whatever the case may be, is that when this column meets your slab, your concrete slab, this thing's going to have to either it's either going to have to meet the slab as it is, or it's going to need a series of beams. Now, the purpose of this project is that we work with beams so that you can get used to the dynamics of designing a concrete frame building. Yes, you can do it without any beams, but then the distances are going to have to be much closer. You can get up to about 5 to 6 meters without beams. The minute you start putting in beams, these are your pile caps. You can go anything up to from 6 to 10 meters, or 8 meters, sorry, with beams. Okay, so that means that your structure, if you have a square structure, you're going to have some kind of beam running along the perimeter. Now, most naturally and simplistically, this is the first kind of stab at the basics of construction. Where at this point, that's your NGL, or your natural ground level. That's your slab on top. If I had to cut a section through that, what I'm basically drawing is this. Pile cap. And then I'm going to do a cut line, because even though this is 5 meters more or less, what that means is that this is concrete, but you never really see the pile in section because you're never going to cut through that pile. So you're always going to have this dashed line because it's beyond, like that. This will be made out of concrete, but because we're trying to do a design style set of drawings, we're going to make this out of just a solid color like that. That's essentially what we're trying to do. And everything beyond this, you will see in section. Sorry, it's a bit skew. Now, I'm not even getting into the design yet. I'm just thinking about the basics. And if you had to put a glass, a line of glass in there, you could have some sort of frame, some kind of frame. This is the most basic that you can get. You would consider putting a false ceiling in. It could be a hanging upside down T section. You could have lights in there. People sitting in there, working on a computer. And I'm not even talking about the climatic effects of the design yet. I'm just talking about the pure basics here. You could draw another layer which could form your screed or your, and you could also use a tar color just to show the base, the crown. That's essentially what you're doing. And I would of course go up another level. You'd have a screed, another column. Okay, this is not necessarily a design. This is just the kind of basics of what your structure would look like. This is the return of the beam coming around like this, and in this case we're looking at something at about 6 to 8 meters in both sides. Okay, thank you. I think this is enough just for this little bite-size little tutorial.